da região. O presidente egípcio Anwar Sadat foi morto em 1981. O primeiro-ministro de Israel, Yitzhak Rabin, foi assassinado em 1995. Em todas as reuniões de paz, os esquadrões antibombas israelenses respondem a muitos chamados todos os dias. A secretária de Estado americana Madeleine Albright decidiu fazer uma visita de 2 dias a Israel para negociações de paz com Yasser Arafat. É uma viagem de alto risco que coloca o Serviço de Segurança Diplomática em máxima atenção. A secretária de Estado deve ser protegida em uma situação de extremo perigo.
Is it difficult negotiating foreign policy under such intense security?
You know, the truth is not, because they provide that kind of envelope of security, so I don't have to worry about it. And people ask me whether I'm worried about my security. I'm not, because I know that I'm protected by the best, and so I don't worry about it at all.
O Hotel Hilton de Jerusalém será o quartel-general do SSD durante a missão. Para fortalecer a segurança.
Prior to her arrival, we set up a command post, which you see in the background here. And the command post has a number of functions which basically is control the operation of the protective detail as it operates here in Israel. We have a number of people that man the command post. That's our teams. Then you have the host country teams and then a number of police agencies that assist.
When they're done and they say our bomb sweep of the floor is complete, then that door will be shut off, alarmed, and there won't be any more access through that door.
Na garagem do hotel, os agentes do SSD procuram bombas em seus carros antes de ir ao aeroporto para buscar a secretária de Estado. É o momento de instalar os equipamentos de comunicação.
Putting on the wires. It's sometimes done in the most inopportune places, kind of in the dark without them. I'll pass that on to the party here.
A equipe do SSD se prepara no aeroporto Ben Gurion, em Tel Aviv, 3 horas antes da chegada do avião da secretária. Os agentes, junto com as forças de segurança israelenses, acertam os últimos detalhes, como as revistas de veículos e os pontos de partida.
After the Albright and us and you, and after the Deplimo. Okay.
My role generally here as one of the DS agents on the ground in country is to effect liaison between the Secretary of State's protective detail and the local services that also provide us a great deal of protection. We're concerned primarily about people that want to interrupt the peace process. The Secretary's last visit, just after she left, there were 2 attempted car bombings in northern Israel in 2 different cities. We have to be careful that nothing like that can occur to our principal or to any of the other people that are traveling in with her.
O sinal foi dado. A secretária de Estado pousa em segurança em Israel. Seu comboio deixa o aeroporto e segue pela rodovia em direção a Jerusalém.
Stand by. Pedestrian left, right.
As funções do líder Tom Gallagher como coordenador do comboio é dar os sinais estratégicos.
Traffic left.
Para garantir que a secretária viaje rápida e seguramente.
Pull back, advise, fireball, advance, 1-5.
Got a ranger going up on your left-hand side.
Don't let anybody pass us.
Nobody passes, right?
Nobody passes.
A polícia israelense interrompeu o tráfego nas ruas.
Copy, clear back left.
Na segurança da garagem do hotel, a secretária é conduzida ao quarto. Por volta da meia-noite, os agentes preparam a segurança para o próximo dia, que começará dentro de apenas 7 horas. São 7 da manhã em Jerusalém. A secretária de Estado e sua unidade estão a caminho. O primeiro compromisso será uma reunião com o primeiro-ministro de Israel, Ehud Barak.
Recover.
Good morning and happy Hanukkah. I am delighted to be able to have had breakfast with you and your wife and friends.
Os agentes do SSD estão posicionados estrategicamente na conferência de imprensa, vigiando todos os movimentos da plateia. Do lado de fora, agentes de segurança israelenses trabalham com o SSD para controlar a área.
We're at the first site this morning, and I'll give you a heads up when we get on the road to the next one.
Com a conferência chegando ao fim, é hora de seguir para Belém. A secretária de Estado decidiu visitar a cidade sagrada. É um importante gesto diplomático que ajudará as negociações de paz. Mas a unidade de segurança se preocupa com a alta periculosidade do lugar.
Fireball advance, come full back, less than 05.
Enquanto o comboio segue para Belém, o agente avançado Bill Densmore combina os últimos detalhes com as forças de segurança palestinas.
What I'm doing here right now is a security advance for the Secretary's detail. What I do is I come here and I look at different security problems we may have when she arrives.
O agente Densmore está preocupado com o lugar. É pequeno e apertado, cercado por telhados e com ruas estreitas para rotas de fuga.
When we come in here, when she gets out of the limousine, all the agents can be cognizant of what's going on around them, particularly around the roofs here, what the press is doing, the people around the area. They're not going to completely shut this down to tourism. There are going to be people off on the sidelines. So it's pretty much just watching everybody and watching what they're doing, watching their hands.
Copy, any press? The only press and they are controlled. Copy, field trip, site clear, meet and greet.
À medida que a notícia da visita da secretária de Estado se espalha, os agentes têm outra preocupação: controlar a multidão. Em 50 minutos.
I told the Israelis to... They were not going to be ready at all. I said we got maybe 10 minutes.
A unidade de segurança tem de isolar rapidamente a área e observar possíveis atiradores na multidão.
Can you guys help us right here? Because I'm afraid once we come to the car, they're going to start rushing the car. We just don't want to buy the car, especially getting between the cars.
Quando deixa o prédio, a secretária fica exposta a muitos perigos em potencial. Os agentes do SSD precisam trabalhar rápido para que ela chegue em... Agora o comboio parte para a reunião mais importante do dia. A secretária de Estado segue para Ramallah, onde se encontrará com Yasser Arafat. Quando chegar ao posto de controle da cidade, a Força de Segurança israelense delegará a proteção aos palestinos, que trabalharão em conjunto com a unidade da secretária. Os agentes do SSD estão em meio a pessoas que são inimigas há décadas. O agente Ivan Rai já passou por este processo.
This part of the world always presents some unique situations. A lot of my time actually playing peacemaker as well between the two security services. What you essentially have are like two very proud people. What the political ramifications are and what their own concerns are.
O comboio da secretária de Estado chega ao quartel-general de Arafat. É o momento mais crítico das negociações de paz. As conversas. Enquanto a secretária de Estado, cercada por sua unidade de segurança, conversa com Arafat, agentes do Após 3 horas de negociações intensas, a secretária de Estado e o presidente palestino finalizam a reunião com um anúncio histórico.
And her accompanying delegation for all the work, the hard work and the efforts that they exert in order to move the peace process forward on all the tracks.
We agreed on the importance of achieving a comprehensive peace and both believe that the time has come to bring an end to the Arab-Israeli conflict by solving all the issues in the dispute.
Intensas conversações de paz, a secretária de Estado finalizou sua bem-sucedida viagem. Resta ao SSD transportá-la em segurança para...
The mission's over, the secretary's up and on to our next stop, and our job at this point is to clean up what we've got left behind. The job is really not over because we've got agents to get out of country onto their next stops. It just is one continual flow. But for the moment, this one's over.
Mas é preciso muito treinamento para preparar os agentes do SSD para viagens como essa. O treinamento do SSD a seguir.
Estamos na linha de fogo, os protetores.
Como se preparar para um atentado mortal contra um alto líder diplomático? A resposta é simples: treinamento intensivo. É o que o pessoal do Serviço de Segurança Diplomática recebe, pois um dia poderão ter de arriscar a vida na defesa dos líderes americanos.
Mr. Queen? Yeah. Hi, how are you? John Henderson, Diplomatic Security. You're under arrest. What? Get down.
When I first came into what was then called the Office of Security, I came into a field office here in Washington and was put on the street immediately. There was some mentoring, but essentially you were told of personnel security investigations, and you go out and do them. And we did that, and there was very limited training and protection. That has all changed now.
Be a DS agent. I want to be a DS agent. Live a life of fun.
Hoje, o Serviço de Segurança Diplomática emprega mais de 1.000 agentes em todo o mundo. O programa de treinamento é cansativo.
Get away.
Training of their academy life is extensive. They learn the history of assassinations. They learn profiling, conduct advances, how to act with a protectee. Agent safety, agent security is first and paramount. Roger that?
Bruce Tully é o agente especial encarregado da seção do Serviço de Segurança Diplomática em Washington. Ele é responsável pela supervisão de investigações criminosas e outras tarefas de campo.
Claire, let's transport the prisoner. Currently, I have approximately 101 agents, and we're called upon to do just about everything within the jurisdiction of the Diplomatic Security Service.
Sendo veterano no perigoso mundo da proteção de dignitários, o agente especial Tully ensina as técnicas de proteção aos agentes mais novos.
What are you looking for? Say it again. Watch the hands. All right? Unless the guy's going to bite the protectee, the danger comes from the hands. Knife, gun, grenade. Okay?
Tully submete os agentes a várias situações simuladas. A primeira consiste em proteger um diplomata em um evento público. Todos os movimentos são coreografados para proteger a pessoa. Os agentes formam um escudo ao redor do diplomata quando entram no prédio. Uma vez dentro, devem ficar atentos a qualquer atividade suspeita.
Ladies and gentlemen, as with training, we're going to critique what we did. This is not a criticism, but it's a critique. Okay, I'll tell you how I saw it, then I want to see how it plays. We had the protectee arrive. Pretty good crowd. Looked pretty friendly, no problem. Aaron, you're the closest agent, I think, to this scene. Tell me, what did you see and how did you react?
I saw everyone clapping except for this gentleman right here, and then he dove as soon as the protectee was right here.
And who actually put their hands on the would-be assassin first. What did you see and when did you see it?
As soon as I saw him reach in his pocket or his waist, and then I saw what looked to be a knife coming up. So I grabbed his wrist.
What did you see?
I saw,
as the agent in charge,
as the agent in charge, I was right behind our principal, and I made sure that we went back the other way. I saw a lunge, and then I just got him out. I heard a lot of screaming, so we just moved him out real quick.
These things happen in less than 2 seconds. Less than 2 seconds. And that's all you've got to go do something. Whether it break a hand away, yell, disable, disarm the assailant, watch the hands, react. You must react. 2 seconds or less.
A próxima situação de treinamento emprega uma tática de dissimulação para desviar a atenção do verdadeiro atirador. Os 6 agentes que entram com o protegido não sabem o que está prestes a acontecer.
An agent on a protective detail is not just looking for an assassin or a person to heckle the protectee. What they're looking to do is the entire package.
Report this guy?
Shut up, girl. Get outside.
I don't want anything to do with this right here. Get your hands to do this right here.
Got him? Got the gun.
Okay, and cut it. Everybody have a seat. That was a terrific response. That was just what we're looking for. And we did throw a curveball at you because you're getting into it again. We had 2 people as a distraction, and as that was going on, we had a gunman on the other side of the room. Shift leader?
Everyone was naturally, human instinct, momentarily diverted to the person that was causing the trouble, as was I, to make sure that it was being properly addressed. But then the second attacker, the thing that helped, as we've been discussing all day here, is the sound off. Okay, that got everybody's attention to the real problem, the life-threatening situation, and I thought we were out at the door pretty quick.
I tell all new agents when they come on this job that we've hired them for only one thing, and that's for this: to use their brains.
The drive best parts for me. This was the most exciting. It was a 2-day course. We learned to drive tactically in different situations. To get out of a situation very quickly. We were taught how to drive at high rates of speed with precision.
Durante as aulas, os agentes são testados em uma das mais temidas situações nesse trabalho, a emboscada. Os agentes do SSD só são liberados para trabalhar quando se tornam peritos na manipulação de armas de fogo.
It's called the MP5K. The current version is the PDW, which we're going to. This does come with, or can be mounted with, an accessory rig. This is a concealable shoulder rig. You can wear this under a jacket. It has a thumb safety here, or an index finger safety, rather. You release the safety, and the stock extends as you whip it out. It can be shouldered and fired from under a jacket.
Os agentes do SSD que conseguem completar o treinamento são enviados a campo.
The phone could ring at a moment's notice, and it would be headquarters asking for me to send agents to Nairobi, Beirut, Paris. It doesn't matter. The training and the people that we pick make them flexible, diverse, and a tremendous asset to the State Department and the service.
Quando completam o treinamento, alguns agentes são enviados a outros países para proteger embaixadas americanas em alguns dos mais perigosos lugares do mundo.
Estamos apresentando Reportagens Investigativa.
As embaixadas americanas ao redor do mundo têm sido alvo de ataques terroristas. Os agentes do Serviço de Segurança Diplomática ficam no caminho do perigo e protegem embaixadores e civis americanos em outros países.
We had the horrible bombings in Nairobi and in Dar es Salaam. But all the time, every day, I now get a report on what is going on everywhere because the security of our people, both the diplomatic service, the foreign service nationals, all the other agencies that kind of use the embassies for their platform, we have to be very conscious of that.
Terrorism is now one of the great problems all around the world. It's a problem that doesn't know borders. It can go through, under, and above national borders. It attacks Americans everywhere in the world, including in our own country, but particularly in places like this, in Greece.
Nicholas Burns é o embaixador americano na Grécia há 2 anos. Ele realiza uma das mais perigosas tarefas diplomáticas do planeta. 5 trabalhadores da embaixada americana foram assassinados nos últimos 25 anos.
Hey, sir. Morning, sir.
A embaixada americana em Atenas é um complexo fortemente protegido, com paredes de aço de 6 metros de altura, bloqueios e portões reforçados. Todos os dias, quando os empregados chegam, explosivos são procurados em seus carros. Os visitantes têm que passar por um cuidadoso processo de detecção de metais, capaz de revelar os menores objetos.
Everything that we do here in Athens has to be conditioned by this fundamental concern for security and for the fact that there are terrorists out there who want to kill us because we're Americans. We can't spend our time with our heads in the sand worried about terrorism that we don't want to leave the confines of the embassy. Fortunately, we have a great staff of American security officers protecting our top officials.
O agente Steve Munn usa uma equipe de oficiais de segurança para proteger o embaixador.
What we're going to do now, we're going to load up for this afternoon's travel. The worst likelihood running a motorcade with the ambassador is that we'll get swallowed up by a crowd. Tear gas is dispensed here on a regular basis by all the parties involved, even the bad guys here carry tear gas. We always take some with us when we go out. If we get swallowed up in a crowd, we can always drop it out the windows of the follow car. We know who our enemy is in Athens. We know how they do business. They operate up-close assassinations using a trademark .45 Colt pistol, and if they don't do that, car bombs. Richard Welch was the first victim in 1974. He was killed on Christmas Eve with his wife standing there, returning from a Christmas party at the ambassador's house. When they arrived at their home, masked men jumped out, pulled him out of the car, pushed her out of the way, and shot him in the head. They have attacked the United States government here in Athens 74 times. There's a plaque outside at the front, both the front gates, and in the front lobby of the embassy with all the victims.
O agente Munn se prepara para transportar o embaixador Burns através da cidade para um encontro diplomático. A simples tarefa de dirigir alguns quilômetros em Atenas requer medidas extremas de segurança. Cada movimento do embaixador é monitorado pela unidade de segurança. Carros blindados, aparelhos de comunicação e armas de fogo são objetos usados para proteger o embaixador na Grécia.
On day-to-day, we run 2 or 3 cars in a motorcade. And if there's some kind of heightened threat based on intelligence, we'll change the order of the cars, and we might even throw some extra cars in there. Each of the men in this truck have a specific area they're responsible for viewing. As in the shift leader's position, you're watching everything that's going on. You're watching, is the driver operating the car safely? You're watching to make sure that the other people in the truck are doing their job. And you're trying to keep up with what's going on the radio. Is your advance agent going to meet you curbside? Is there a problem? And then you're trying to watch around too because you're an extra set of eyes. Well, you have to be on 24 hours a day, but more difficult, challenging parts are laying out your programs in advance so that hopefully by the time you make this motorcade movement, the hard work's over. And you've got to pay attention, you've got to be alert to what's going on.
O comboio chega a seu destino.
You have to give up a little bit of your freedom to be an American diplomat overseas these days. Everywhere I go in this country, whether it's to visit the Prime Minister, or to the beach with my family, or to play tennis, or to an ancient ruin, these same 5 wonderful, competent security guards are with me.
I just love the state.
These people literally put their lives on the line. When an American security agent from our diplomatic security office is protecting Madeleine Albright, our Secretary of State, or myself, or anybody else around the world, they pledge that they will put themselves between us and a bullet to save us. You can't ask for anything more than that someone's willing to risk their life for you.
Estamos apresentando reportagens investigativas.
We gave to the Dalai Lama was probably one of our highest coverages that we've ever provided. The only thing that might be a little higher would be something we would put on Yasser Arafat. So we gave him as much coverage as we would any protected individual.
Enquanto o comboio segue para a primeira parada, agentes de segurança prévia reagem a uma possível ameaça.
You guys catch that one guy that was looking around?
Yeah, we're good.
He's out of here, right?
We got taken care of.
The dogs have swept everything. We're good to go. No worries, no problems?
No.
Okay, good. So the arrival should be any moment now. So once they come in, we're set.
Our own protective intelligence division was out here. Basically, the guys are on the street and sort of blend in with the crowd. They're out there and made a few assessments on some people that showed up at the door, and we decided they shouldn't gain entry.
Okay, I got your departing. 5 seconds. We're all set here. The site is clear. We're ready to go.
Basically what's going to happen is that the motorcade will arrive at this backdoor location. The limousine will pull in with the security follow car behind it. Once the car pulls up, there's a slight hesitation while the agent in charge determines the safety or security of the site at the last minute. He'll then advise them to dismount. The follow car will pull up. The agents will demount the vehicle, take up positions around the car, and he'll advise them exactly when they should release the doors to let the man come out.
Os agentes tomam suas posições e conduzem o Dalai Lama para dentro. Enquanto isso, no local da cerimônia, a multidão espera para entrar. Devido à ameaça anterior, a segurança foi reforçada.
How you doing today, sir? All right, thank you.
When His Holiness was performing his ceremonies on stage, or when he was teaching on stage, we deployed people around the stage, in the wings. People were in the audience also to be able to respond if something were to develop. So our guys are constantly on alert for the possible problem that might develop.
Quando o primeiro encontro terminou, o Dalai Lama decidiu se encontrar com seus seguidores. Uma mudança inesperada na agenda do SSD.
Follow me, please.
The crowds were generally very affectionate towards His Holiness. We had to keep reminding our people that if we saw people coming up towards him,